My name is Mark. This is Zen Talk, and we're talking about leaving Buddhism. Basically, why people leave Buddhism. So, it does happen. Why people give up on Buddhism, why they leave. So, here's a list of why, in my own research, and also talking to people who have left, of why people leave Buddhism. So, number one, New Age and secular humanistic mumbo-jumbo. This particular, the New Age and the secular humanists, it's basically the blaming of the student for their own confusion. This is a big part of secular humanism and New Age, is the blaming the student of their own failures, viewing that materialistic gains is the end goal. In other words, manifesting your reality or the secret. Denial of the soul purification process, and the soul liberation. All of these secular humanists and a lot of New Age denies the soul. And they are anti-Buddhist teaching spirited as Buddhism. And bearded means a disguise. So these are a lot of times New Age and secular humanism disguises itself as Buddhism, but it's really an anti-Buddhist teachings. And you will encounter this quite a bit. Ignorance of the Sangha, meaning that monastic school you belong to. The Sangha itself does no study of real Buddhism, and you'll find that a lot. Mistaking foreign culture and religious forms as the teachings. Sometimes when you go to these Western Zen centers, they look like a replica of a Japanese temple, and they are a replica of what those temples do in Japan. That is almost a direct import of a foreign culture and religious forms. And they view those as the teachings, because you will find no Buddhism, no real Buddhism being taught in those schools, and no real Zen either. The Sangha teacher is ignorant, not educated themselves, and just relies on dogma. Sometimes that happens. In fact, a lot of times that happens where a satellite of a larger school opens up in a city or town, and the teacher put in there is a placeholder. They are not very educated themselves. They are ignorant as to the teachings, and they are just going on the dogma of the larger school. Relies on assumptions, opinions, and feelings rather than the actual Buddhist teachings. And you will find this all throughout Western Buddhism. And you got massive amount of books and tapes and lectures. They're all nothing but assumptions, opinions, and feelings. They have no Buddhism or Zen in them, because it's just the assumptions, opinions, and feelings of the teachers, the long-term students, and the authors. And of course, the biggest one is that they deny all of the above. When the Sangha denies everything that's going on, it becomes crazy. And then, lastly, there's the hypocrisy, which could be part of this denial. Whatever the code of ethics and rules of the Sangha are not being adhered to. Abuses of money, sexual conduct, and possessions of authority. And lastly, there's no justice and no avenue of justice. So these are the three big reasons why people leave Buddhism. All right, a Zen Center is just a school, whatever they call it, temple, monastery, doesn't matter. It's just a school. And like any school, there is a charter that informs the students exactly what the school mission is about. Schools come and go, and many that start fail. Why a Zen school fails? Well, lack of a clear mission. They have ambiguity and confusion as to what they teach, who they are, and what they are about. The leader is weak, non-existent, or distant. A lot of times in these Zen centers, you'll have a placeholder for the teacher who is in some other city or even part of the world. So it's being done by remote control. Lack of community support. And this is often due to the first two issues, because if your mission is not clear and there's a lot of confusion and ambiguity as to what they teach, and the leader is weak and not even there, well, the community is not going to be there either. And hypocrisy and bad actors, where sexual misconduct, financial misdeeds, and power abuses occur. And lastly, and this has been a big issue lately, it's a scam, and it always was. The school was set up as a cash cow in an affluent part of the city to prey upon the spiritual seeking of the wealthy. Disillusionment. I have seen senior students and teachers leave Zen centers and Zen Buddhism altogether. Actually, I've seen quite a few students leave, and here is some of the reasons why. The organization brings in anti-Buddhist teachings, that would be the New Age and the secular humanism, to attract new people. Poor leadership, unclear mission and purpose. It's another big one. Sometimes these Zen centers are set up by larger Zen centers, but the leadership is either extremely weak, very poor, non-existent. Their mission and purpose is unclear. Hypocrisy and bad actors are allowed to flourish. There's no consequences for them, and there's no avenue to get them out, no justice and no avenue of justice. No clear and visible path of advancement, and for those who are advanced is arbitrary. I say that again. Sometimes you see this in a lot of corporations as well, where there is no clear and visible path for advancement. And those who are advanced, it's arbitrary as to why. So I would say that when you are looking at a school, and one of the things that you see, or you could even see this for a company, anything that you're going to join, is that this needs to be set very clear. Lack of support from the students and the community, often one or more of the reasons above. So without the support of the students and the community, everything fails. All right, so if I was to run a Zen Center, I would do the following. Clearly define the mission statement of the school. Educate initiates as to our mission and our methods. Base our ethics and rules on natural law. Formal students and teachers are given a clear path of advancement. Have a just and fair grievance method to root out bad actors and hypocrites. Be vigilant on guard against anti-Buddhist teachings and heresy. That would be that New Age and secular humanism stuff. Adapt local culture and style to the Buddhist teachings. Buddhist teachings are universal and beyond any culture or regional peoples. This means I would be looking like the clergy of the culture that I am in. I would not be trying to enforce a foreign culture that is alien to the people and the community that I am working with. And lastly, gain the acceptance of the local community and their support, because without this, everything fails. All right, thank you, and please remember to like and subscribe.